gender sensitivities. We thank you for making sure that all those people who are under your custody are aware of planting the traditional grains. Tinongoziva kuti pane vanhu vanoti isu tairima chibawe, mabawe ndiwo atinoda kudya, ina handidi kudya. Takazomuvwa from eating our own traditional grains, which I think they have got the best, they are the best for our DNA as people of this country. That's why they are called traditional grains. But of course we know how we were discouraged and think kuti tofana kungodya chibage. Now you are encouraging the people in your communities to see kuti kunona mvura yakaita sei, mbeu ingaita ndeipi. When I was going around, I was told pane mbeu dzimwe dzakuita in 128 days unenge wakutoziva kuti wakutokohwa. This is what we say we move together. And you said something very important. We know as people, especially our rural folk, they store most of their value in livestock. And with that, this kind of a drought like the one we have this year, it means one farmer, you have to be very clever. And you said it. Tengesai ng'ombe dzenyu dzichiri kutengeseka. It's always clever. And something which I want to tell you, this is a debate which went for a very long time in cabinet. To say we do have regions 4 and 5 where we have got very good livestock, but they don't have the stock feeds. But we have areas where we have lots of these stock feeds. So we need to deliberately encourage those people to make sure that they do it as a business. Those who can actually harvest everything and make the stock feeds can now sell them to those regions where we don't have. And government is going to be standing with us throughout all these shocks of this El Nino drought. Reverend Dr. Clever Gomba, I want to thank you sincerely for the work which you are doing as a church to make sure that to understand the role of church, because we all know church plays a key role in our societies. Ndimi munotakura mweya wedu, patinoremerwa, patinodzamirwa, patinofara, church inosimudza mweya wedu. Patinofunga zvakaoma zvatisinganzwisisi, church inotisimudzira pfungwa dzedu. Saka the work which you are doing, there is no way as a country will not fail to deal with climate change. Continue to do the good work, and we would want to work with you very closely as a ministry as you go around conscientizing members in society in various ways of mitigating these climate change effects. And I liked it when you said, people attribute drought to sin. It's very important to change people's mindset. And I liked it when you said, we are actually teaching people in church to be ethically relevant. Because we can't continue to think that vanhu vaita misikanzwa yakawanda ndosaka mvura isingachanai, totadza kuita zvinotibatsira kuti tiite mitigate and adapt. So tinoda kukutendai zvikurusa nebasa guru ramuri kuita. Like I say, as your minister, and you will find this wherever I go, before I get to speak to you with my prepared speech, I want you to know that I come here to listen to you. I just don't come to ngopakura kusvika nhanda tikangosvikirwa nenguva yangu ndobva ndatotaura ndobva ndatopedza ndobva ndaenda. No. The other panelist who spoke, I just want to say to the bank, Mr. Mundende, ndizvo Mundende, you made me feel very proud. Young, so this is the young generation which we are saying we need to move with. And when you spoke about these issues from a position of knowledge, understanding the effects of it. And I'm happy to say as a ministry, we have started working together with our commercial banks. You know, we are also in charge of small and medium enterprises. And many times before, the commercial banks would not entertain women for access to finance, would not entertain small and medium enterprises. But I'm happy to say most of the commercial banks are getting on board, because they understand that the small and medium enterprises in this country are the pulse of the economy. And you understand that the women, because when you talk of SMEs, 56% of those are women. And I'm happy that you have got a women's desk which you have created in your bank. And I'm very happy about the corporate social responsibilities which you are doing, especially when you talked about the biogas at the women's late children's home in Mondoro. Not that but in the Faranazo, and also the other issues, the projects which you are doing, in the call for partners to come on board so that we can finance these projects. I am very proud of the way you are prioritizing inclusivity and understanding that, especially when it comes to climate change, we need to just not talk without money. So truly this symposium needed a whole day. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I have to attend other very important duties, but it was very interesting. Ministry of, I don't want to leave any other panelist. Virginia, even if I leave, you know I appreciate the work which you do at Gender Commission. But let me thank all the panelists for the wonderful work you're doing and the love of what you're doing, and promising to work with us. And I want to promise you that we will work together until it is achieved. I will go to my prepared speech. I'm honored to deliver the keynote address at this inaugural Gender and Climate Change Symposium. And this will witness the historic launch of the National Gender and Climate Change Task Force. This momentous occasion marks a significant step in our collective efforts to address the most pressing challenge of our time, which is affecting every aspect of our lives and the whole planet, and posing significant risks to our environment, our economies, our infrastructure, and even our social fabric. When there is El Nino-induced drought like which we are experiencing, we talked about it when I was in Mount Darwin yesterday. Men, women, children all suffer. When men loses their job, they get back home, they have nothing to do, they have no one to be angry with except their wives and their children. When children, youth have nothing to do, have no jobs, what happens? They start taking mutoriro, these drugs and substances, and we lose generations. So this is really something serious. It's affecting our societies. But again, we are saying, as people of the clever country, educated as we are, and resilient as we are, let's not allow ourselves to be victims. Ladies and gentlemen, climate change is not gender neutral, and it's not just an environmental issue. It is a matter of social justice and human rights. Its impacts are felt, and I said this before, disproportionately by the most vulnerable members of our society, particularly women and girls. They face unique challenges arising from climate change, such as increased workload, limited access to resources, and heightened risks to their health and safety. It is therefore our responsibility to address these challenges and empower our women as agents of change in climate action. Indeed, women are not just victims of climate change. They are powerful agents of change, and they play a vital role in climate change mitigation adaptation. I saw that. Women coming from all areas, Binga, Nyanga, Insiza, Masvingo, women moving very fast in terms of adapting and mitigating to make sure that we don't remain as victims. And they're coming up with these resilience building efforts. You had the farmer, smart farmer. Huh? Our women are the custodians of natural resources, the primary providers of food and water, and the caretakers of their families' well-being. We know that. Even in if I don't take care of my family, I don't expect anybody else to do it. So it means I'm working 24/7. As I was touring the exhibitions once again, I felt proud and encouraged, but I want to say, those women who were talking outside, I'm imploring you to talk to members of the community at large. We need more of our women who are that smart, who are so knowledgeable about this climate change response. The exhibits showcased the creativity and expertise of our women from different backgrounds, different cultures, different provinces and districts. And you are driving those innovative solutions and making a significant impact in championing climate change. I'm confident that the exhibitions have also provided a platform for networking, collaboration, and knowledge sharing among women working on climate change action. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the responsibility to harness all these potentials through, among other things, ensuring that women have equal access to resources, have access to information, and access to opportunities, enabling them to actively participate in shaping climate change strategies and actions. And this is the work which we are going to do together, all those who are in this room today. As the government, we remain committed to advancing gender-responsive climate policies. Yes, Virginia, we will continue to look at those policies and see how effective they are, see where the gaps are so that they are plugged. We are working to strengthen the participation and leadership of women in decision-making processes related to climate action. I was quite happy where we commemorated the International Families Day in Lotito in Mount Darwin yesterday. I saw the councillors, especially the women councillors. They spoke so well. They spoke so well, and you can actually say, "Vanga vachita drama, vaenda kuna councillor." That's the right thing to do. And I encouraged in my speech to say to each and every woman of this country, you are covered by the constitution of this country. The Supreme Law has got very good provisions to protect the women in this country. Don't suffer in silence. Get to the next person to get help. I was even talking about our constitution, how good it is that even a neighbor, when you watch a child who is being abused, a child who is being married off at a tender age, you as a neighbor, you can actually go and report, and that problem will be addressed. So we need to continue to work together. We are also implementing programs to enhance women's access to climate finance, technology, and capacity building opportunities. We have to make sure that we don't leave our women behind, or we don't discriminate them by not giving them digital skills. Because we know everything now, all information, even when you produce, you can actually do e-marketing, e-commerce, you can find customers online. And we are saying it is important, together with our development partners, we need to go all the way down The penetration of internet in our country is very high, and we all know that the four walls of banking halls is almost disappearing. Everybody's moving around with their gadgets as a bank. So we need to teach our women about all those digital skills. And to consolidate this work, my ministry, in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, developed and is implementing the Climate Change Gender Action Plan. The action plan is aimed at facilitating the integration of gender issues into policies, programs, and strategies which are related to climate change, adaptation, mitigation, and building women and community resilience to climate change. Conducting this, ladies and gentlemen, and other upcoming symposiums focused on gender and climate change will align perfectly with our shared vision of promoting the implementation of the Gender and Climate Change Action Plan. Further, the establishment of the National Gender and Climate Change Task Force marks a significant milestone in our collective efforts to integrate a gender-responsive approach into all aspects of climate change policies, strategies, and actions. Allow me, therefore, to thank all the members of the task force for accepting our request for them to help lead and coordinate this enormous task. I am confident that the skills and expertise that they possess, all these diverse individuals and organizations who are part of this task force, will bring invaluable insights into our efforts towards a more inclusive and sustainable future. I also extend my appreciation to all the partners, namely development partners, civil society organizations, and the private sector for your continued support and collaboration. By working together, we will ensure that gender equality and women's empowerment become integral components of our climate change response. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I was saying government is leaving no stone unturned. We know we did not harvest. Our harvest went down by 77%. And I think in the rural areas, we need to feed more than 7 million people and another 2.6 million people in our urban areas. And what I can tell you and assure you is that there's a lot of work which is being done to make sure that food will be given to each and every Zimbabwean. And our president is on record that nobody is going to die of hunger. The logistics of doing it have already started. The Ministry of Agriculture, together with the Ministry of Social Welfare, they've already started going district by district, all the 61 districts of this country, to go to the GMB depots to make sure that they have enough maize grain to feed our people. And also funds have been put aside by the Ministry of Treasury to make sure that that grain reaches our people at that ward level. So this, when I said this yesterday in Mount Darwin, I continue to say, parents, the government is coming with food to make sure to mitigate the impact of this El Nino-induced drought. Don't sell your girl children for food. Don't stop your girl children or your children going to school. We will overcome this as a nation. So I would want to once again extend my sincere gratitude to all the women who have come all the way from across the 10 provinces of our country to discuss gender and climate change issues and showcase your work. Let's give them a round of applause. Your dedication, your passion, and determination are an inspiration to all of us to continue striving for gender equality and women's empowerment. This is why we are here. This is why I'm here. I'm particularly passionate about what we're talking about. And we will always give you the support which you want in terms of coordination. With these remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I hereby officially launch the National Gender and Climate Change Task Force and mandate them to start the ball rolling in championing work on gender and climate change. Together, we can build a world where gender equality and climate action go hand in hand, leaving no one behind and no place behind. Nika, Inovakwa, Nevenevai. I thank you sincerely.